No one really knows what's going to happen in 2022, but we all like to speculate. So that's what today is all about. Predicting what will happen in 2022. F1, that is, not in the world, because that's kind of a mess right now. But in terms of the Drivers' Championship, this is what I think is going to happen in 2022 F1. So let's get started with 20th place down to 15th place. And I'm going to do these predictions assuming there are no other drivers that enter the grid. The news breaking today and yesterday is that Nikita Mazepin will not be able to race at the British Grand Prix, if I understand it correctly. But he will keep his seat for the rest of the season, so we will have 21 drivers. I think it kind of ruins the predictions to predict who's that going to be, who will that be, where will they finish, etc. But they're in a Haas, so it's going to be in the bottom half, unless we have a crazy British Grand Prix, which I hope we do. But assuming that it's 20 drivers, this is what I think will happen. I've gone with Guan Yu Zhu. Apology if I pronounce his name wrong. Never really spoken about him much before, considering this is his rookie year. The only rookie on the grid. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've got about zero faith in his ability, mainly because I'm salty. I'll admit it. I'm angry. Oscar Piastri, Theo Pourchaire, the talent that F2, F3 holds, and Guan Yu Zhu it feels like he wasn't the best option. He's had a lot of years in F2, hasn't won it. Piastri, rookie year, wins it, doesn't get the seat. Guan Yu Zhu does. We all know why that is, but it still frustrates me. So maybe I'm a bit biased there, but I also just think his ability isn't what maybe some people think, and I think that Alfa Romeo is going to be slow. I'll do a separate video on constructors, but I think Alfa Romeo are going to have a shocking season in terms of bad. And I think Haas are going to be maybe able to pick up a point in a random wet race, crazy race, a Hungary of last year, for example. So we'll see what happens with Alfa Romeo, particularly Guan Yu Zhu. I'm excited for him from that point of view, but who knows what's going to happen. I'll fly through the next two. Mazepin, Schumacher. I don't know if any of them are going to get points. I think Schumacher could pick up one. Mazepin, unlikely, but again, crazy race, he could do. So I've put them in that order. I do think mainly Mick will do better consistently, but that's the order I'm going to go with there. I don't think it needs a lot of explaining why they're going to be near the bottom. 17th place, Valtteri Bottas. Some people have put him high as 12th, 11th, 10th. I've seen this. I've seen some people put him 14th, 15th. I can understand that. I've gone maybe down the lower end of the spectrum than to what some people might think he will do. However, Alfa Romeo, I just don't see them developing as much as other cars. Williams, now with the more involved role with Mercedes, they definitely are going to make big improvements. Alpine, I think, are the only other team that are going to drop. I'll get on to that. But yeah, Alfa Romeo, I just can't see them being that quick. And therefore, Valtteri Bottas will do better than his teammate and the Hasses. Definitely picking up a point every now and again. Maybe sneaking into a Q3 in a crazy qualifying. But yeah, I'm sure Valtteri will be great. I'm excited to see him not being number 2. But yeah, I can't see him having a great season, to be honest with you. Hope he proved me wrong. Nicholas Latifi in 16th. As much as I love him, I think he's a lovely guy. We share a name, for God's sake. Like, I've got to love him. But yeah, with the talent on the grid, I think there is plenty. With the competitive season that this is hopefully going to be, I just can't see Latifi getting near the top 10, whether that's 11th, 12th, 13th. We'll get on to his teammate because I'm a big Albon fan. But for Latifi, it's 16th in the Williams. I think he'll beat Bottas just about. I think it's going to be a fun season for him. Although he might be at the back, I think he's going to be fighting. And I think we're really going to see what he's made of. And I hope he has a great season. Obviously, I don't wish a bad season on any of these guys. I'd love them all to do the best they possibly can for the best racing that we could possibly see. But Some of them, I just don't think will do that well. That being said, 15th. Maybe a big one. Esteban Ocon. This pains me to say because you'll never understand how much I love Esteban Ocon. He's easily top 5 drivers on the grid for me. Oh, I don't know. I mean, I got a lot, but he's up there. He's definitely in the top half of people I love in F1. That being said, I think the Alpine will be slow. I think it's going to be competitive in the midfield, very. And I think Ocon maybe will be a little bit complacent after the season he's had. Although he got beaten by Alonso, I just feel like he got lucky a lot. I don't think he got unlucky very much. And I think all it takes is a little bit of reliability issues for Alpine. And I think Ocon will dwindle down the table very, very fast. I think with Alonso, he's going to extract maximum performance from a car, even with bad reliability, e.g. Mclaren Honda. But with Ocon, he's never really had that before. He's never been in a big regulation change like this. I know that's true for a lot of drivers. For some reason, I think Alpine will be poor, and someone's got to take that 15th spot. And for me, it's Ocon. I know that's harsh. Don't hate me for it. I love him. I just don't think he's going to have a great season. So yeah, that's 20 to 15th. Moving on then from 14th to 9th. Here we are. 14th, Lance Stroll. Again, Lance Stroll last year, poor. I think you have to say how it is. Maybe one of the worst drivers, you'd have to say Yuki Sonoda in terms of just having a lackluster season. He was just never really there. It felt like he wasn't in races. Like, he was just invisible. He didn't do a lot other than providing us with quality memes after the Monaco Grand Prix. If you know, you know. But 14th, Aston Martin. Will they be quick? You could say that for every car because you just don't know. However, I think they won't be as quick as other cars. However, I think that in certain races they will be able to fight, and I think that's where Vettel's experience will come through, and you'll see why I've put him higher. In a season like this, experience is going to be absolutely crucial, and I think Vettel obviously has heaps of it compared to Lance Stroll, who I think will struggle. Will struggle against a Williams that is massively developing, an AlphaTauri which is massively developing, Alpine, which although will drop off, I feel like they could be sitting similar levels. Although I think Aston Martin will be quicker, hence Stroll above Ocon. But we'll see how it goes for Stroll. Moving on to Sonoda, I don't think this season is going to be a massive resurrection for him. Last season was poor, the same as Stroll. It wasn't good. People said he should have been dropped. I don't think he should have been dropped. It was a rookie year. You have to give him time. But I can't see him keeping... Definitely can't see him keeping up with Pierre Gasly. I can't see him scoring regular points, even when that AlphaTauri, I think, is going to be pretty fast, pretty quick. So I've gone with 13th. Again, this whole section of the grid is just so hard to predict with the completely brand new regulations, so who knows what could happen. But Yuki Tsunoda, again, massive lack of experience, and I think that's gonna bite him, and I think we're gonna see what will happen there. I don't think it's gonna be good, Yuki fans, and I love him, but who knows if he'll have a seat in 2023. 12, Fernando Alonso. I spoke about him briefly when I talked about Esteban Ocon. I think the experience is going to drive him up the grid with the new cars. He will be able to learn faster. He will be able to adapt quicker to the new cars. And I think it's going to help him massively. Even if the Alpine isn't fast, 12th place I think is reasonable for Fernando. Just going to blast through these ones because there's not a lot to say when it's so unpredictable. However, with 11th place, Alex Albon, there probably is a bit to say. It's massively ambitious. It's probably not going to happen, but I am blinded by love. That's the truth for Alex Albon. I know I say that I love a lot of drivers, and I do, I love a lot. Alex Albon, I really do feel bad, because he wasn't brilliant in the Red Bull, but I thought it was unfair he didn't get a second chance in the AlphaTauri. He was moved to the Red Bull senior team so fast. You know, there's hundreds of videos about this. I don't need to go into detail about it. Look what Gasly did. He wasn't good. Now look where he is. You know, there's talks of him joining back Red Bull in the future. Who knows where he could go? He's a future world champion. And I don't see why Albon couldn't be that if you just give him another chance. Williams, a brilliant opportunity, and I think he's going to nail it. I think he's going to absolutely hit the ground running, and I've gone 11th. And although that is unrealistic, you might say, in a predictions video, I'm going for it. Don't stop me, because I'm having a good time. Quote there from the Queen. Not the Queen, you get it. But Sebastian Vettel in 10th. I think he's going to do better than last year. I don't think he was bad last year, but I think considering the hype build-up around the Aston Martin, I think people expected more from Seb and from Lance, and I think he is going to do better than Lance, definitely, and than himself last year, and that's what it's all about, being the best version of yourself. But yeah, I think Vettel is going to be kind of top end of the midfield rather than lower end, because I think realistically where the midfield ends is 9th with Pierre Gasly. I think Gasly is going to smash it, and I think he's going to... I tell you what, Sergio Perez, if I was you, I'd be shaking a little bit, not going to lie, because I think you're great, but I think this season might not be, and I'll get onto that, but I think Pierre Gasly is going to be looking back to the Red Bull seat. I don't think he should. I don't think he should go back to Red Bull, because I think he's done it there. He failed. You can't deny he failed. And there are other teams that would probably happily take him. So I wouldn't go to Red Bull, but I think with the form he is on, he can go anywhere he likes. So 9th for Pierre Gasly. I think he is going to be best of the rest, because I think the teams left, McLaren, Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes, are going to be a step ahead. And so this essentially becomes best of the rest now, 9th, which is weird, but yeah. That's what I'm doing there. That's why I've split it into these sections, because next up I'm going to go with 8th to 4th. There it is. Sergio Perez to finish in 8th place. I've left the podium positions 1st, 2nd, 3rd empty, because, you know, build the tension a little bit. But there you have it. Perez 8th, Ricciardo 7th, Lando 6th. I spoke about Perez. I think he's going to be rapid. I think people are going to be rapider. Not a word, deal with it. I think it's going to be so close to the top, and I just think Perez being a second driver is going to be sacrificed a lot to help Max, and I think that there's not the same margin for error as there was last year, and as much as I think Sergio's a great driver, I don't think he's going to cut it at the top as a second driver. The rest of these teams, they don't have a certified second driver, really, whereas Red Bull, it's pretty clear, so I've gone with that. Next up, the reason I've put the McLaren boys 6th and 7th is because I don't think the McLaren's going to be quick enough. I think the McLaren is going to be the slowest out of the top 4 cars. I still think it's going to be closer to the back of the Ferrari, the Mercedes, the Red Bull than it is close to the AlphaTauri behind, say. But I don't think it's going to be consistently quicker than the Ferrari or the Mercedes or the Red Bull. So, why does Lando beat Ricciardo? Reason 1, he did it last year. Reason 2, it's Lando Norris. Reason 3, I love Daniel, but it's Lando Norris, and I love Lando Norris. So that is my reasoning. George Russell in 5th, which you would say is kind of a poor result, but then you look at it and you think, actually, if the Ferrari is World Championship contending, 5th isn't that bad. 5th is not terrible for a first season where he's going to be getting used to the car. I think that from 2023, I think he's going to be a multiple-time world champion. That's why I've gone with him in 5th. I think Ferrari are going to be quicker than Mercedes. Can I say that? I think it's going to be close, but we'll get to it in the constructors video. Leclerc in 4th. This is so tough. I'll move on to 3rd because it helps to explain Leclerc in 4th once we see more. But I wonder if Leclerc was overhyped. And there are a lot of people who have completely written him off after losing to Sainz. And he did not lose to Sainz by a lot. He is still world class. I wonder if the pressure of being Ferrari's golden boy, the next Schumacher, the next big thing for Ferrari, this kind of, this guy to carry Ferrari forward, all of Italy has his hopes on them. Is it too much? He's shown he's inconsistent. He's shown he has struggled in a Ferrari that last season was actually relatively fast. At some points, he's shown at some points he absolutely thrived in it. And I think it's going to be really unpredictable what he's going to do. Like most of this season, I hope he does well. I think fourth would be well, beating a Mercedes driver. But I think he's going to get beaten by, firstly, Lewis Hamilton, who I've put third. People will say I hate Hamilton. Not true. I just don't. But he's kind of old. I think he is now tailing off to the end of his career. Last year has got to weigh on him mentally. I know he said he's going to come back stronger. I don't know if that's true, and I'm sure he will. I'm sure he'll prove me wrong. He'll probably win the championship. I just wonder if what happened last season is just in the back of his mind, as I wonder if over this season he's been having doubts about how much he wants to be in the sport. And I think if you're not 100% in the sport, you're not in it to win it. And I wonder if Lewis has got his mind elsewhere with other projects. Lots of them are amazing. I think extremely is amazing. What's especially amazing is his projects with diversity, especially in racing and in young people. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I just think that he's focused on it. He is very focused on that. Will that take away from the racing? You have to take it into account, and I think it will in a season that is so competitive. He got away with it for the past few years in terms of being so far ahead in pace, and now he's getting a bit more competition, and I think the fact he may not be 100% focused on racing will cost him. I love Lewis, of course I do. He's a pride of Britain, but it's no lie I like Max more, so maybe I am biased. I'm sure I'll get called it, but that is why Lewis is in third, Sainz is in second. I love Carlos Sainz. I think he's probably the most underrated driver on the grid. He beat Leclerc last year. I think if Ferrari have a title-winning car, he will fight for the title. You give a race driver a car that can win, they're going to give it a go. And I think that's exactly what Carlos Sainz will do. And I think he will come second in the championship. I also think I want to say between first and eighth, I think it's going to be a matter of 30, 40 points. I think it's going to be massively close. And obviously now you know who I've said to win it. So we may as well just get straight onto it. Max Verstappen, 2-time world champion. After last year, people saying, he's a fake championship, it's a fake championship. If what happened in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix happened in round one, we would have thought I think he is in the groove. I think the confidence from last season will be massive, and I think he's going to win the title. So there you have it. There's 1 to 20 full predictions. I imagine the big talking points are obviously Max beating Lewis again, Lewis coming third and not second. I do think Mercedes will probably be a bit slower than Ferrari, so I've done that. Albon so high, maybe Alpha so low, but yeah, there's a lot to unpick in everyone's predictions, I'm sure. So if you care at all, I would care to see what you think. What you think about what is going to happen and what you think about these predictions here. So go ahead, drop a comment, because why not? Just do it. Hey, you never know what might happen. But definitely subscribe, mate, because you're missing out, honestly. Get on with it, and I will see you around.